Welcome. I am so excited to tell you what I've learned about sprouts. There is so much more to learn, but fortunately, we have a hydroponic farm very close to us called Brick Street Farms. And I loved going there to get my sprouts. Well, some days they didn't have any sprouts. So I was thrilled when a friend gifted me um, a Victorio little sprouter. And as you can see now, if Brick Street Farms is out of sprouts, I've got my own that I can munch on. So let me tell you what I've learned so far. So this sprouter, as you can see, is hydroponic, and of course you could get the trays that you could put soil in and grow your sprouts that way. I have enjoyed this because it's so very easy. And you'll find a lot of seed companies that you can order from on the web. And this, I particularly like this superfood mix that I get that has a lot of broccoli and kohlrabi and various other seeds. And they're really tiny. Perhaps you can see how tiny they really are. And sometimes those tiny seeds get a little caught in the trays that you're given. So the way that I deal with that is I just take my paper clip and I clean the trays before each use to make sure that there are no seeds that are caught up in the little drainage holes around the edges here. There are these tiny little holes, and of course you need them to drain through. And there's also kind of a gutter there around the edge. And sometimes the water likes to accumulate there. So I've got, as you can see, three different trays going on here. And I always mark each tray to because I'm just kind of curious how long it takes to grow these. On the web, I've seen that from 3 to 5 days is typical, but I'm more at the 6 to 7 days in my microgreen mix. So this has been growing for 7 days actually, so it's ready to consume. And the way I consume is usually on a salad, but more often because I have it right by my desk in the on the windowsill, I just kind of grab a little bit and have a little bit as a snack. So sometimes I don't even have enough for my smoothie or to garnish my salad. Here's a tray where you can see the seeds are just beginning to germinate. And here is a tray where the seeds have just been germinating for like 3 days. I water every evening and every morning, and you must stay with that schedule. And the way I water is simply to stack them up and turn on the faucet and just let them drain on their own. And I go get dressed or brush my teeth or whatever. And when I come back, I just make sure that there's no water in the container, dry it off on the bottom. I allow my seeds, 2 teaspoons actually of these seeds. And of course, it will vary by what type of seed you use. I put them overnight in a little container, this little container, and then drain them in the morning. So as you can see, and there's just a few left. So I fill up the container and I always keep the water so that I can use it on my plants. So I have a big tub there that it drains into. So now I've gotten all of my seeds, almost all my seeds. And as you can see, I'm just draining it right now. and I drain it in a container that, again, I can just use to water my plants. As we let this drain, one of the great things about this particular container is it's got a little drip pot at the very bottom. What you can do is stack these up when you put your seeds in. You can stack them up so that if this were the tallest, the highest container filled with water, it would drain in and through all of the other containers. But I've already watered my other sprouts today, so I'm just going to let this drain into the container at the bottom. And as soon as it does, I'll pour out the water. Now, as I said, there's a little ditch kind of at the rim. And what I find is that even though they say you could just let them grow in that vertical way, I always make sure that there's no more water around the edges and drain it fully, and then put it in my windowsill as separate containers, kind of side by side. And that I found no issues with. When I did stack the containers, I found that some of the seeds got a little funky, and so I decided not to do that anymore. All the containers are separate, and possibly it depends on your growing condition. For me, I have very high humidity where I live, and year round it's pretty high humidity. And so stacking the containers, I think just was just too much moisture for my sprouts. One of the things I really like about this sprouter is that when you put the seeds in, can you see how what beautiful concentric circles these seeds form? They don't usually clump up in one area, so you have to spread them out. They just naturally kind of find their own place. The benefits of the sprouts are many, as you probably already know since you've tuned into this YouTube. They're great antioxidants. They're great for digestion. They're known through tests to show a lot of insulin resistance, and of course, they boost immunity. You can grow them at home, so you don't have to go to your local hydroponic farm or your market to get them. And it's just a wonderful way to get your nutrients at home. You can use these as garnishes. You can use them in your smoothie every day, on your salad, and they're both aesthetically so pleasing, but also so great for you. Happy sprouting!